Hi, honeys. It's Michelle Escalin, just in case you were wondering how to pronounce my last name if you were a little bit newer to this channel. Welcome. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my 15 favorite holiday movies. Now, this was really hard for me to narrow down. The truth is, I love this time of year. I love Thanksgiving, I love Christmas, I love New Year's, I love Halloween. So for me, October through January is just this wonderful time of year that I absolutely love. I love Christmas music. If I was stranded on an island and I could only listen to one album for the rest of my life, it probably would be a Christmas album. Maybe one that was like mixed that I put together, but that's how much I love Christmas music. And I love Christmas movies just as much. Throughout the year, Brad will come into the living room and find me watching Christmas movies, in April or August. It's just who I am. So I had a really hard time narrowing it down to 15. I will tell you my 15 favorites and why. And then I've got 7 other ones that are also my favorites. I just didn't want to do 22 favorite holiday movies, right? It just sounded like too much. If you're wondering what my favorite Christmas song of all time is, I'm going to play it for you right now because there's no copyright on it. This is actually a snow globe that Brad and I bought together last year at Target. And 2019 is the first Christmas that we were in Vegas. And we were so excited to move here together. It was our decision together to move here, finally being somewhere we wanted to be together, because neither one of us liked where we had lived in the past. And anyway, this is my favorite song. And it's the Music Box version of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. There's something just so... It just fills me with joy and hope. And I know it sounds cheesy, but that's what I'm all about, right? That's who I am. So I just wanted to show that to you. And I love, love, love water globes. Like, I'll probably be one of those people by the time I get in my 80s. I'll probably have like 50 of them, like all on display somewhere. And I don't care. I think it's beautiful. If I keep looking down here, that's where my notes are. I had to make notes for this video. I do want to tell you that these movies are in no particular order. There's no way I could pick like my absolute favorite Christmas movie. I just can't. I did want to mention just a little side note real quick. I did Vlogmas last year and vowed to never do it again for a bunch of reasons. It's probably a whole other video. But I've been watching it now, and there's something kind of spectacular about it. I mean, not to toot my own horn. It's not me or the job that I did. It's the fact that it was the last Christmas, the last holiday season before the outbreak. There's no masks. There's no restrictions. We're able to go where we want, do what we want, have a bunch of fun. We took a trip to Seattle. Brad had a business trip, and I think it was like the 6th or 7th of December. So we went a couple days early and spent some time up there, got a little family time into. We filmed going and getting a tree. We filmed putting it up and putting all the ornaments on it. It was just very heartwarming to watch it now. And then my mom came out for Christmas. So we went with her and my stepdad. We went through this drive-through thing where there's a bunch of Christmas lights, and I filmed all that. And then I filmed our Christmas day, and we were sitting around playing board games. There's a little bit of footage of that. Also, even the Thanksgiving before the Christmas season, it was the same thing. It was like everything was just so wonderful. And I just really love these videos. So if you're bored and you want to enjoy the holiday season before all this started to kind of help you get back into the feel of the season, I am going to put a link to the videos down in the comments section. And then at the end of this video, I will put my favorite Vlogmas video from last year, probably the Well, I'm not sure which one. I got to figure that out. But I will put it at the end of the video when it has like a recommended video that you can look at. I'll recommend that one. So you guys kind of have, and maybe I'll put the Thanksgiving one on there too, just so that you guys can watch them if you want. And it's also some footage of me and my mom together, which I know you guys love. Okay, well, without further ado, I think I've been rambling long enough. I will get to the point of this video. It's probably going to be another long video, you guys. You know me, though. I just talk and talk and talk. By the way, look at this cute mug. I'm drinking that eggnog coffee that I love so much. Okay, the first Christmas movie that I want to mention is White Christmas. It's really all you could want in a holiday movie. It's enchanting. It's got beautiful music. The costumes are gorgeous. The sisters in it, what are their names? The Sanderson sisters, I think. Is it Sanderson? Oh, I'm probably wrong. Anyway, those two women are gorgeous. I mean, just watching them in their costumes and dancing around is just amazing. I love watching that movie. There's also a lot of humor and heartstring pulling. It's just a great holiday movie. What, Marty? Row, row. Row? Hi, boo-boo. The next one is Meet Me in St. Louis. Once again, I love the music in that movie. Judy Garland, she's my favorite singer of all time. And Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is probably my second favorite Christmas movie or Christmas song. I love that song. The costumes are so wonderful. And Judy Garland, here we go again. She is so gorgeous. I could look at her forever. She's so pretty. So pretty. And the movie's got this, like, there's funny parts and it's kind of weird. There's kind of weird parts too, but it kind of gives you a look into history and how things were in the past too. The next one is Holiday Engagement. I think this was a Lifetime original movie, maybe, or it was like made for one of the TV networks. It wasn't like a blockbuster movie. And it's got Shelley Long in it. That's the only famous person I think that was in that movie. There's this girl who is going home for Thanksgiving. And she is taking her fiance with her. And her mom's so excited. She's finally got a man in her life. And she's so happy that her daughter's getting married. Right before she leaves, her fiance breaks up with her. And she's trying to figure out what to do. So she ends up hiring someone to go with her. And he happens to be an actor. And the two of them, there's just this chemistry that you can feel the whole time. It's really sappy, but it's really sweet. And I'll let your imagination go from there what happens. But there's a scene in the movie that I love. Shelley Long is decorating her living room and the tree for her family. And this hired fiance comes down and he's helping her and they're talking. And there's just something so sweet and heartwarming about it. It kind of feels like, I don't know, it reminded me of some of those moments in my life where I felt like I really got close with my in-laws. Like, there's just something very sweet and genuine about it. And I love the visuals of putting the lights up. And, you know, I'm a real Christmassy person. I love all the lights and the colors and the sparkly stuff and everything. And the little underlying message for it with me is how much so many people try to impress their families. To the point of being willing to lie to them just so that they don't know that they aren't leading the life they want them to lead. I just think it's important to live the life that you want to live unapologetically, because the truth is people are never going to be happy with the life that you're living. I hate to say that, but it's just true. But it's just kind of a nice reminder to live the life that we want to live. Miracle on 34th Street, the original one. I love that movie. It just always gets me in that magical feel of the season. It gets me in the holiday spirit. I love that movie. It's just so sweet. And it just kind of, it feels like I'm going back to the good old days, except I wasn't alive back then. And me and my mom used to watch it together a lot when I was a little girl too. So I really love that movie. The next one is the Muppet Christmas Carol. I mean, have you seen it? I don't know how anybody wouldn't like that one. I'm sure there's people that hate it though. But I don't know if you know this, but I'm like obsessed to the point of maybe needing mental help with my love of Kermit the Frog. Like, I love Kermit the Frog. You think I like the Golden Girls, and I do. But Kermit the Frog, I even have a tattoo of him. That's how much I love him. I love Kermit the Frog. So he's in it. Obviously, I'm going to like it. It's just such a sweet take on the Christmas Carol. And there's this scene in it where Kermit and little Tim are singing Bless Us All. Oh, it just gets me right here every time. It's so sweet. But I do. I love that movie. And there's this part, I can't remember. This is so terrible that I can't remember this. Is it a bunny? It's outside in the cold and it's shivering. It's like, and I think about that and I just think, oh, it like kind of stimulates that want to help others whenever I see that little freezing bunny outside. Anyway, it's just a cute, sweet movie. And if you haven't seen it and you don't mind watching Muppets, I highly recommend it. Holidays in Handcuffs. Have you seen this? This movie is so crazy, but I love it. Every year, gotta watch it. It's not really Christmas until there's certain movies I watch. It's not really Christmas till I've seen them. This is one of them. This movie has Melissa Joan Hart in it and Mario Lopez. Right there, like, obviously I'm gonna like it. But what this one is, it's kind of like the holiday engagement one where she tells her mom about this great boyfriend that she has and she's bringing him home for Christmas. Except they're all meeting up at this lodge that they, like a big log cabin they rent out, which is gorgeous to look at. So just before she leaves, he breaks up with her. Same kind of thing. And she decides to make Mario Lopez go with her without his consent. Like, she's literally got him handcuffed. And anyway, it's I don't want to get too into it if you haven't seen it, but it's a funny movie. It gets me. There's this really, really beautiful scene where he puts all these Christmas lights in trees for her and she's like figure skating around and it's just like Christmas has begun. It kind of feels like being in this snow globe right here or something. It's just so beautiful, so magical. I love it. I love that movie. I don't want to say anything else in case you haven't seen it, but if you haven't, you might want to watch it. I think that one was a Lifetime movie as well, originally. Last Christmas. This one came out last year, and it's the lady that plays Daenerys in Game of Thrones is the main character in this movie. It's like kitschy, it's cute, it's quirky. It's very visually stimulating. It's just so beautiful. It's like you're literally in like a Christmas town the whole movie. Like, it just feels so Christmassy. And it's very clever the way it was written and just some of the things that happen in it. I love this movie. I really do. Fell right in love with it the first time I saw it. I'm going to run out and buy the Blu-ray soon because I have it saved on my DVR. But I'd love to have it in Blu-ray because it's so visually beautiful. And there's a bunch of George Michael in it, which if you're my age, you're going to like that, right? Who didn't love George Michael? So this movie is named after George Michael's, or was it Wham that did that one? The Last Christmas song. Then there's The Family Stone. This one was not a box office hit. I think it got very low ratings from critics, but I love it. And it seems to be kind of a cult classic. It's got an all-star cast in it. It's got Diane Keaton, who's probably one of my favorite movie moms, like from my generation. It's got Rachel McAdams in it. It's got Claire Danes in it. It goes on and on and on. Sarah Jessica Parker. There's a lot of actors. Anyway, it's this warm, touching, funny movie, and they're in like this old, cluttered house. It's kind of like a Victorian style house, and I love the house. I don't know if I would have decorated it quite the same way, but I love that house. Like if I could get my hands on that house, I would live in it. Um, but it's such a warm, touching movie about family, and I cry every time I watch it at the end. Every single time. It gets me right here. If you love your mother, which I'm sure to some degree we all do, right? But you guys know I'm close with my mom. It just really gets me at the end of that movie. So that's all I'm gonna say, but it's really good. Up next, Christmas Vacation. What is there to say about Christmas Vacation? Have you not seen it? Have you not? You have to have, right? I think most of us probably have multiple quotes from that movie memorized. So it's got Clark Griswold in it, and that's Chevy Chase. It's got Beverly D'Angelo and some other actors in it. It's so funny. So funny. Like to this day, usually if I watch a funny movie, I'll watch it, I'll laugh, and then that's it. I can watch it again, but I don't know if I really laugh out loud when I watch it. This one, I still laugh out loud every time I watch it. And I've been watching this movie for 30 years. 30 years. I remember I went with my mom and my stepdad, probably some other family too. I think my brother and my stepsisters were there. We went and saw it in the theater, and it was just so delightful. I can still hear my stepdad laughing. He's got one of those laughs that is really contagious. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, you have to go watch it. Gremlins. Oh, this movie has everything likable for a holiday movie. It's got a likable main character. It's got an adorable sidekick. I mean, so cute. Like as cute as my cats are. Like that cute, sweet, furry little sidekick. And it's got a romance with Phoebe Cates. It's got a town villain. It's funny. They have this scene where they're in a toy store, which you don't see a whole lot of anymore. But in that toy store, it's filled with toys that I played with as a child because it was filmed, I want to say, in like the earlier mid 80s. So it was like this walk down memory lane, seeing some of the toys that we had as kids, which I love. Also, a really big theme of this movie is that there are consequences for not taking care of your responsibilities properly. And boy, does this main character pay a price for not taking care of his responsibilities properly. And then the other thing is you have Christmas amidst all of this. It's a really good movie. Is it amidst or amid? I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, right? I hope. Next, Die Hard. Oh, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's got Bruce Willis, which, I mean, if I'm honest, he's really good looking in this movie. He is some eye candy in this movie, so that alone should make it worth your while. Anyway, he plays a character named John McClane who decides to surprise his estranged wife with a visit on Christmas Eve to her Christmas, like her work Christmas party, and like a high-rise building. And he gets there and he finds out, shocker, because this is definitely a shocker, he finds out that terrorists are basically holding her and all of her coworkers hostage. And he's a cop. So he decides to take matters into his own hands. Nobody can handle it like he can. And apparently he's right. But because it takes place on Christmas Eve, it's definitely a Christmas movie. And it's an action movie. It's fun. So if you want to, get a guy who hates warm, sappy Christmas movies to watch a Christmas movie, have them watch this with you because they'll like this one. And somehow at the end of the movie, it gets me right here. I get the feels. It's like, oh, and there's a Die Hard #2 that takes place at an airport. There's snow all over the ground. And guess when it takes place? Christmas. So what we always do is we watch Die Hard and then Die Hard 2. And we love it. Brad and I do that every year. It's something that we have to do to get into the holiday spirit. Have to. No choice, because he doesn't usually watch Christmas movies with me, but that one he does. A Christmas Story. Oh, okay. This movie came out when I was 8 or 9 years old, and I fell in love with it right away. I begged my mom to get me the tape. So she did. She bought me the VHS tape. And boy, I think I wore that thing into the ground. I watched it so many times. It took everything in me to wait for it to rewind after I watched it so I could watch it again. I would watch it over and over and over again. And one thing that I used to love about this movie was it was a great background movie. My mom used to buy us those latch hook kits. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'll throw a picture up here just so you know what it is. And I would sit there and work on it. And as I got a little older, and once she married my stepdad, me and my stepsister, we both worked on them. And we would just watch this movie over and over and over again while we worked on our latch hook kits. And to this day, when I'm doing my DIY or my homemade Christmas gifts, guess what's on in the background every year? I literally was watching it before this video when I was getting ready. I just love it. I love the characters. I love the main character, Ralphie. And that's another one where there's a lot of quotes that Brad and I use a lot to this, just throughout our lives. We're constantly referencing that movie. So genuinely love A Christmas Story. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. The next one I want to mention is Christmas in Vermont, the original one. Oh, I love this movie. I mean, okay, if I had to say my favorite one, it's probably this one. It's probably this one. I mean, I love them all, obviously. But in this one, it's funny how many of these movies revolve around lies. But there's a woman who writes, she's kind of like Martha Stewart, but in I think it was the 40s or the 50s. And so she writes these articles with recipes and about her life in this beautiful home on the countryside with her husband and her baby. And it turns out the truth is she lives in the city and she's single and she doesn't even know how to cook. She gets her recipes from this friend of hers who's a chef. And the owner of the magazine wants to spend Christmas with her and this wartime hero from World War II. So, okay, I guess it was the 40s then. From World War II. He wants to bring him as a surprise to spend the Christmas season with her and her husband and the baby and make it this big to-do. So she decides she's got this boyfriend that she's kind of into, but kind of not. And they're going to go spend the holidays at his house, pretend they're married, he's got housekeepers, pretend that one of the housekeepers' babies is theirs. And the chef that she's such good friends with decides to come along with her and kind of help her concoct this whole story. There's so many funny things that happen as a result of her lying and the other lies that she has to tell and so on and so forth. It's a really good movie. I love it. The house that this boyfriend of hers owns, it's another dream house. Like if I could have that house, I would have it. I would live in it. I would love it. I would take good care of it. This house is amazing. There's a scene where the main character is decorating the tree. Here I go again with my tree decorating. She's decorating the tree and the war hero is sitting there playing the piano and they start singing together. Oh, it's so romantic. It pulls at my heartstrings and I love it. And I'm not normally like a romantic fan. Like I'm not really into romance, but that's my kind of romance right there. It's just so sweet. I love it. The next movie is The Holiday. You've probably seen that one, right? I hope. This one has Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet in it. What's Not to Love? Those are wonderful actresses. I love both of them actually quite a bit. And I feel like there's a moment when one realizes, and maybe more than one moment, probably if you live a long life, you've had multiple of these moments where you realize that you need to take a break from your life and you need to reanalyze your life and what you want your life to be. And this can be very life-changing. And so in this movie, these two women decide to switch lives, basically. It's it's not Airbnb, but it's kind of like that, where Cameron Diaz wants to go stay in, what is it? Is it Ireland or England? I'm sorry, I can't remember which one. She wants to go stay at her cabin out there, and Kate Winslet wants to go stay in Los Angeles in Cameron Diaz's mansion. So they switch homes. They get to reanalyze their lives, figure out what they really want. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I mean, you don't have to leave your life to do it, but I think we do all have to reanalyze what works and what doesn't, what we want to keep in our life, what we don't, hopefully somewhat regularly, like every year maybe. And so this can be very life-changing. And for these two ladies, it was very life-changing in a good way. But yeah, this movie is all about going after the life you want, but it's also during the holiday season. It's another movie that is visually beautiful. It's funny. I really love that movie. It's wonderful. And it also enhances the importance of friendship, relationships. And I don't even mean romantic relationships per se, but just relationships in general, with your family, with your friends, and with lovers. Being treated the way you deserve. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Okay, we're getting close. There's one more movie. It's a Wonderful Life. I love this movie. I've already watched it twice this year. Okay, this one, the main character is Jimmy Stewart. Once again, what's not to love? I love Jimmy Stewart. Favorite actor of all time. I love him. I'm sorry, he's my favorite actor of all time. I just threw that part out. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I need this coffee. So he plays a character named George Bailey. And George Bailey is down on his luck. And there is an angel, or someone who wants to be an angel, named Clarence. And he's been informed that if he wants to get his wings, he has to help George Bailey out. So it's kind of another rendition of the Christmas Carol. And so Clarence goes to help George Bailey. And of course, one thing I keep thinking about this movie, what a great gift it would be to see what the world would be like without us. I would love to see what the world would be like without me. And you probably would too. It's just so easy for us to assume that we don't contribute enough or anything. It's easy to think that people would be fine without us, or maybe happier without us. I felt like that a lot. I hate to admit that, but I do. I mean, I think it's human to feel that way. And it's just not true. And so this movie is a reminder of that. But gosh, I wish I could have that experience. I want Clarence to take me under his wing and show me so in this one, it doesn't do what your life was like in the past and what it's like now and what it'd be like in the future without you. It's not like that. It's just what this town would be like without you in it is what he shows. What his wife's life would be like, his parents, his sibling, that kind of thing. And it's just really good. It definitely makes my heart glow, and I love it. And then there's this little moment I noticed, and I don't know why I just now noticed it, all these years of watching it. But there's these cops in the movie, and their names are Bert and Ernie. And I thought, Bert and Ernie? Are the Bert and Ernie named after them? Because I know my mom said that Sesame Street came out when my brother was, she was pregnant with him, or he was a baby. So that would have been the late 60s. And I know It's a Wonderful Life came out in 42 or something? It came out way before that. So I'm now wondering if they're not named after that Bert and Ernie. I looked it up. there's a bunch of rumors that that might be the case, but I didn't find anything saying for sure. So if you know, let me know. Anyway, that is a really good movie. I think that you would love it if you haven't seen it. Okay, I've got some honorable mentions. I'm not really going to go into too much detail about these, if any. Scrooged. I love that movie. It's got Bill Murray in it, which I really like him. It's another fun take on A Christmas Carol, and I absolutely love that movie. I just, like I said, it was hard to figure out which 7 to not have in the list. Mixed Nuts. I don't know if you've seen that. For me, it's a cult classic. I don't think it was very popular. I don't think that the critics liked it. It's got Steve Martin in it, and I just think that movie is hilarious. I think it is. I know Brad watched it and thought it was really stupid, but I love that movie. And that's another one that I could watch over and over and over again. Almost Christmas. Oh, that's another one that really tugs at my heartstrings and makes my heart glow. This one is about, I don't know that, I can't remember the actors in it, but this guy retires and his wife passed away the year before, and his family is coming to celebrate Christmas with him. And it's basically about the family trying to come together after the mom is gone, and it's so good. So I really recommend that one. Christmas with the Kranks. It's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it and Tim Allen. I really like both of them, and it's just really funny. In this one, basically this couple that always tries to have the perfect Christmas for their daughter decides to not do Christmas this year and go on vacation instead. And then they find out their daughter is coming to town, so they have to reverse everything. But the whole thing, it's a funny movie. I really like it. Love Actually, I love that one. Trading Places. That's another one Brad and I watch together every year. I love Eddie Murphy. Old school Eddie Murphy. I love him. You cannot go wrong with him. That's probably another childhood crush of mine, was Eddie Murphy. Yeah, he was. And then another one that I shouldn't like, but I do, okay, is Bad Santa. I know it's kind of naughty for me to like that movie, but I think it's so funny. It is what it is. I thought it was funny. So that's it for my 15 favorite Christmas movies and my 7 honorable mentions. What are your favorite holiday movies? Please let me know down in the comments. I also wanted to let you know, because we're getting real close to Christmas at this point, Brad has to go out of town right before the holiday, and I'm going to go with him. So we will be out of town for the holidays. My dad lives nearby, so we'll be with some of my family for Christmas. I'm going to try to film what I can of it, but that's what we're doing this year. We just didn't want to be apart for the holidays, so I'm just going to go with him, and we're going to try to make the best of it and see my family and stuff. So that's what we're doing. Let me know what you're doing, though, for Christmas. I really want to know. I'm just curious. Are you cooking? What are you cooking? That kind of stuff. Are you staying home? Are you going anywhere? All right, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I rewatched a bunch of these movies just to refresh my mind about what I loved about them, and I had a lot of fun. So I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope that you have a really, really happy, loving, magical holiday season. And let's see. I will be back on Friday with my holiday DIY video. That's finally going to be here on Friday. On Saturday, I am doing a Ipsy unboxing and try on. Sunday is there's a bookstore in the area that is closing down, and it's like a landmark bookstore that's been here since before I was born, and it is going out of business. And I went down there, and so you get to see the outside of the bookstore, and I wasn't able to film in there. I talk about why in the video, but I got some rare books while I was in there. I'm thinking about going back already again because it was a really neat place and they are not quite closed yet. But anyway, that was a really neat experience. And then what's up after that? After that, I don't remember. I'd have to grab my calendar, but there's a lot of good videos coming up. So I hope that you are able to tune in and watch those as well. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you. Bye.